Dell is proud to support small businesses with reliable, award-winning technology powered by Intel Core processors and created to give your business 4 times faster performance and cut downtime by 50%. During Small Business Month, enjoy 35% off select business PCs and get free shipping and advice from Dell's dedicated experts. Visit Dell.com/radio to discover how they can help you to do your best work. Intel inside, powerful solution outside.
Welcome to another great edition of Younger Life. I'm Rick Federici.
And I'm Mary Anthony.
And it is a great morning to be here. Another fine installment. Are you feeling okay today, kiddo?
I'm feeling great. And just for those that didn't hear, in case you're seeing it on the webcam, I got hit with a wiffle ball in the eye yesterday playing with my son. I did. I took it right smack dab in the eye, and it's looking pretty pink and purple today.
I have to be honest with you. You always look great. So for the record here. Secondly, I know the kids have got to feel horrible.
Oh, my son
what was
felt
the reaction?
so bad. They were dead silent. Okay, so I was pitching balls to my 4-year-old nephew and my 4-year-old son. And, it was fine. But then my son, it was his turn again. And his first up at bat, boy, he just nailed it and hit me dead in the eye, and I just put my hands on my face, and the boys, bless their hearts, they were so afraid. I think that they were in trouble. They were dead silent. I mean, not a peep. And then I started saying, okay, guys, just a second. And my son was saying, "Oh, Mama, I'm so sorry." I said, "It's okay. It was an accident.
You are a good mom.
It was just an accident." But I said, "We're going in for a few minutes."
Yeah.
I'm done playing wiffle ball.
Did you run to the freezer real quick and grab ice?
I used a magnet, which sounds crazy, but
a magnet?
I don't know if it's an old wives' tale. I really don't know. I read once, anything there's an owie that you put something cold on, it will help, obviously for swelling purposes. It started swelling instantly. To look straight, I could see it sticking out on the side all evening. Today the swelling's down a lot. I can actually move it, open it, but
I have toothpicks in the other room.
I know, right? It was just whatever.
If you need them, but
so I had heard a magnet before will help take the swelling out faster and reduce bruising. I don't know that it works. We've done it at home just because why not? They're very cold anyways, the bigger magnets. I have a couple kitchen magnets that talk about measurements and stuff. So they're pretty cold and they are strong magnets. And so we use those. So I did put a magnet on it right away. And
I'm glad you're here. And I'm glad you're a cool mom. Of course I'm here.
I'm fine. It's fine. But in case you notice, it's not makeup gone wild. It's just a little bit
It's a Younger Life lesson.
It is.
From your host, Mary Anthony.
Yeah.
And look, she's still smiling.
Oh, it's fine.
Still comes
today
in
it's
a good
not
mood.
Even, unless I touch it today, it's fine. Yesterday, I couldn't get over it. Was it's a wiffle ball, but it's not one with holes. It's like a
it's the solid one.
It's a solid one, and I don't know. I really, honestly, still can't imagine that it hit me that hard. It's just the way it hit me. But at least I got my contacts in this morning, so it was fine. But just
I wouldn't sweat it.
So it is a good day, and I'm excited about our show. We have a fabulous guest this morning.
All right, so this is what is great. We actually have people chiming in already. Libby Heath joins us in studio, our latest prom queen. Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause for Libby. Jackie, let's show a great camera shot of her right now here on Younger Life. There she is.
Yes.
How are you, Libby?
Good.
Good. So tell me now, could you hold up your pretty crown there? That is absolutely beautiful. You want to put it on?
Yeah, put it on.
There you go. You look so gorgeous.
Yes.
I happened to see pictures of you with your mom's Facebook and your family's Facebook. I was so happy, Miss Norma. And you know Miss Norma, and you know Carly and Devin, my daughters. We were so excited for you. I was just like, wow, that's great. So let's talk about this. This is really cool.
So you attend Michigan City High School?
Yes.
And so the prom was this past weekend, right?
Yeah.
Oh, so you went, and how exciting to be named prom queen.
I think this is great. So Libby, tell me a little bit, if you wouldn't mind. Now, how did this all come about? Because obviously everybody knows who you are. Tell everybody in our Younger Life audience a little bit about you, Libby. So you go to high school. Now you're a senior this year, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, so you're excited to be a senior. And so everybody knows that, it's cool. It's dance and proms.
Yeah.
And so prom's coming up. And, you say to yourself, I want to go to prom. But how did the whole thing evolve with you being the queen? Tell us a little bit about that. That's kind of cool.
I did want prom queen because they chose me.
That is really,
That
really
is
cool.
fantastic.
I so love it.
So I need to do the girl thing. I need to know. I am not on Facebook, so I need to know what color was your dress?
Was navy.
Oh, I love
Navy,
navy.
so
yeah.
pretty.
Navy blue sequins.
Oh,
Navy.
So
Can you give a
pretty.
picture?
I do.
Yeah.
Can we show it?
Yeah, you know what? This is great. In
I
fact,
didn't
Pull
get
it
to
up
see
on
it. I
your
would love
Facebook.
to.
what I want to
or-
do, you know what I want to do too, is if you don't mind, while we're hanging loose here
No,
in
that'd
Younger
be
Life,
great.
can I get a picture of you guys
you know
together?
what?
Everybody's chiming in, saying they want to see a picture. Hold on. So pretty. So
So I'll find the picture for you so you can see
Okay,
it. But
yes.
She, Libby has always been able to set goals for herself. And whether or not we think there's something that's a viable thing or not, she always achieves them.
That's awesome.
So she saw a friend of hers post a picture on Facebook that said that she wanted to be prom queen. And Libby said, well, I want to be prom queen. And so the next thing I know, she's snapping a selfie and putting it on Facebook, and it's shared 250 times.
holy
Awesome.
cow.
Oh, okay.
So I wasn't for sure. So you guys, it is a voting thing.
It is a
in
voting
advance.
thing.
Yeah.
So the student body votes in advance, and then I think they vote again at prom. I'm not real sure how all
Really?
of that works.
Yeah.
When we were there, it was a lot different.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, just so different from what it was. But the way that the student body has really embraced her and welcomed her and supported her has been phenomenal. I mean, it's just been, especially this year, has been just an amazing experience for her. I mean, she's been all over the place this one.
She is so cute. And
Well, what
I
a
love
great
her.
way to wrap up your senior year,
Easily.
your high school career. I mean,
Right.
really, what a great
She
way
really
to top
has
it all off.
Just surpassed any expectations we ever had. And I mean, from the get-go, we've always told her there's nothing you can't do.
That's right.
We've treated her the same as her siblings, and we've done everything the same way for her that we have the other two. I mean, Libby has been the first cheerleader with a disability for her school, and she's runs track with the unified track team. And
Oh, you do run track?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
awesome. I have one that
She
runs
is-
track too, and
She is something else, this one.
that is great.
So tell me a little bit about you this year. It's got to be special for you, Libby, when you look at you doing track and you cheerleading, you being prom queen. That is so awesome. How does that make you feel? Tell me a little bit about that, if you don't mind.
I feel happy and excited.
Happy and excited. So what in school right now, what is your favorite subject? If you had to pick your favorite subject.
Mine is math.
Math. That's very, very cool. Mom, would you mind sending me, is that okay if you don't mind? I'd like to post it. So that's pretty cool. Her favorite subject, we were just chatting as you were chatting with Mom, her favorite subject is math.
I love math too.
Me
Well,
too.
math though gets a little difficult. I like math.
fun.
I understand.
She takes after her dad.
Oh
No,
yeah,
Okay,
with,
that's
with
what
the
I was
math
saying.
thing. Yeah, that's
Mom,
awesome.
Mom, what was your favorite subject in
Oh,
school?
I loved English, and I was on the school newspaper. So those were two of my favorites. I was never Never a math whiz.
That's
That's
really,
great
really
that
cool.
you are.
Can I ask either one of you ladies? Now, obviously, you've done a lot this year, Libby. You have done your track. She did a lot of stuff with cheerleading. And how did you like cheerleading? Was that pretty cool?
Yes.
Yes. And then prom queen. So now, ladies, what is our next thing that we're going to tackle after we graduate? What are we going to do? Do you have an idea, Libby?
So what do you want to do when you graduate?
I decided to have a job.
You're
yeah,
gonna
you're
have
going to get a job. I think that's great. Anything particular that interests you?
What
I
are you
think I
thinking?
like dancing a little bit.
Really?
So she'll take some, maybe some long-term dance classes, maybe some
Yeah.
Zumba stuff. She'll probably go to work at the auditor's office or for the county, at least part-time. She's done some
Nice.
volunteer work there already. And
Oh, that's
there have been several
awesome.
people that have asked for her to come back and do
Yeah.
their shredding, or they're running papers back and forth to
Absolutely.
offices. And, my mom was a little skittish about that because my mom is the auditor. So she's already kind of like, well, do I do this? Do I not? So we're working out the details on that kind
Mm-hmm.
of thing. But if if she doesn't work there, then she can come work for me at Barker Woods. And
Mm-hmm.
she knows Miss Jackie's job in and out, and she tells me how to do it when I'm filling in. So
Well, I think it would be fantastic. Libby
She's
would make a
amazing.
great mentor.
and
kind of
she
thing.
really, once she sets her mind to a goal, she achieves it. So I'm not against anything. We're also looking at some continuing education options for her, some college-like courses maybe,
Yeah.
because Libby wants to go to college, right?
Yes.
Now,
Exciting.
would she go, Mom? I know we won't talk about the college she's going to, but it would be a school around this
So
area.
we're looking at different schools around this area. We're looking, there's a place in Valpo and a place here that we're looking at, and so
Very
we'll look
cool.
at both of those and see which option fits her personality and needs the best. And then we'll go from
Absolutely.
there.
See what interests you there. And
Right.
Who's
I think
that?
it's great. Can we mention who your date was?
Yeah, I was just going to
because
say,
of
he's
the
a cute
picture
kid.
was-
Okay, so
It's
the
like they're
prom
cute.
king was Zach Vigil. He's a Michigan State high school basketball player who's a good friend to Libby. And her date was actually Cruz Chavez, who has been Libby's best friend since they were in preschool.
Oh,
And
really? Oh, I
Libby,
love
what is
that.
Cruz now? He's your what?
My boyfriend.
Oh, your boyfriend.
Oh, man. Oh, Mom, hang on to your seats. We know how that goes.
I know.
Yeah,
But yeah, he
it's
is. And they're
exciting.
so great together, and they're just wonderful. They're a good complement to one another.
That's nice.
And his family is much like ours, in that they're very warm and very welcoming and very encouraging at the same time. In fact, Libby being the cheerleader that she has been for the last 3 years, Cruz has been the school mascot for the last 2
Oh,
years.
sweet.
That's cool.
So could it be a more perfect match?
Really?
I
Right?
did not even
Really?
know that till
Yeah,
just
that
now.
is great.
So
Yeah,
cute.
and-
Well, the
they're just
picture
so
was
perfect.
perfect of that. I mean, it was a
the-
gorgeous picture. I
Darn it,
love
just-
your
I
dress.
just posted it on Facebook.
Oh,
That
good.
picture
Well, so
of
that was the prom king. Now
Oh, that
I'll
was
send you
prom
the
king.
other
Okay.
one.
Yes,
Yeah.
now here's a
Okay.
picture of both of them. That's the one I was looking at. It was very, very good
If I
picture.
can get this one.
That is so cute. And I actually
How
happened
fun.
to see it. I was saying to Jenny, I saw that it was up on Facebook, and as
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, it was really cool with Younger Life. And then I knew that she was on some of the TV stations out of South Bend.
She was.
And people were like awesome and writing about her. And
That is
she was on TV.
so
and she's on
cool.
TV right now.
How cool.
How do
My
you
goodness.
like all the attention? How do you like everybody going, this is so cool? What do you think about that?
I really like it.
That's
It's
very,
fun.
very
Bring it
nice.
on, right?
Yeah.
She
I
does love
it.
to be the star of the show.
Well,
That
don't
is
they
so
all?
cool.
I mean, I think all the kids love that. I
Don't
think
they?
that's awesome. You know what? They all deserve to have a few minutes to themselves. I love it. I think it's fantastic. Did you guys do any post-prom kind of thing? I know some schools
we really
are different.
Didn't. There was a post-prom event, but because Cruz had to be up so early for track the next
Oh,
morning, and
absolutely.
Libby, of course, wanted to go and support him. They both opted to bypass that this
That's
year.
fine.
Nice.
Now,
Yeah.
last year they danced until the very last song in prom, and then they went to post-prom and shut that down too. So
Yes.
yeah.
Mom was a little nervous about that.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. You know, that's definitely something we're talking about. It isn't just proms, but even graduation season. It's sometimes later
Yeah.
nights for your teenagers, and that's scary and intimidating
Right.
as a parent to try to make sure we're still knowing what's going on and keeping our kids as safe as we can. So.
I agree, and I think it's excellent too, Jenny, that you're in true support, and I think. And I've known Libby for a good 10 years at this point.
Oh, great.
And Jenny's family and everybody, it's a family unit in terms of everybody is equal, and I really liked it
Exactly.
about what you
Exactly.
and your whole family.
So
just
important.
Everybody's on the same page, but she does it all. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
she does that, and then some. Libby does more than most. Children that are out there.
Mm-hmm.
She's juggling her school schedule. She's juggling sports. She's got her cheerleading. She's
And
thinking
then a
about her
boyfriend in the
future and her
mix.
job, and she's volunteering. And
Well,
Yeah.
and then she goes and she campaigns with her grandmother when she's, on the politicals.
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
awesome.
It's
political
fantastic.
spectrum.
And another amazing example of the how important goal setting is on every aspect of our lives.
Right.
And it's funny that you commented that even when you think it's something that may not be in reach, that Libby's still so dedicated to it. And I think that's a great point because goals are very personal. It doesn't have to be about what
absolutely.
somebody else thinks, but if you want to shoot for that, and it's okay not to reach every little goal, but whatever keeps you driven to keep going is important. So
Absolutely.
Libby, bravo. I love
say,
that.
Libby.
Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. I love it. Your crown's gorgeous.
I was
Your
just going to
dress
say, I
is
love
gorgeous.
that crown. Is
is-
Were
absolutely
you so
beautiful.
excited? I can't imagine just, how neat. Now, are parents allowed to be there when they do name?
Well, so no, most of the time parents aren't allowed
Oh,
to be there.
okay.
They usually have school staff that chaperones and school staff
Oh,
that's
certainly.
there. Now, because Libby also has a seizure disorder,
Mm-hmm.
I volunteer. I did last year and this year again. My husband and I volunteered to chaperone, and so
Right.
we were able to be there, which was
it's
phenomenal.
So
Oh, yeah.
awesome.
And so we got to see the exact. Well, we didn't get to see the exact moment. We get to hear at the moment
Yeah.
because we weren't. She, of course, I don't like to cramp Libby's style,
Of
so I
course.
give her space normally, and I don't. Much like today, she started off the interview alone. I came in when she said that I could. But I don't go past that. They don't cross that line with her. Really, I give her that space to do her own thing and to be her own person. And so she told me at prom that I couldn't be in the room.
Oh, how funny. That's great, though.
And she wanted me to be, so I did door duty and I checked in every once in a while just to make sure she was good. And at the exact moment when they were announcing the king, Jerry, my husband, looked at me and said, "Get your phone, get over here." So I literally left my purse and everything outside the door, got up and just caught the audio for the moment that she was announced as the prom queen.
That is fantastic.
Wow.
So-
And as a parent, I think that's another great point. Whether there are, certain conditions or not that you feel like you have to be there, just to make sure it doesn't matter. It's important to be involved, but never, your children have to make decisions and you have to let them. And I think sometimes it's the hardest part. My oldest is 15, and that's the hardest part is trying to give them their space and
Right.
and let them make choices and
Let them
mistakes
grow.
and
Right.
mistakes.
Right.
That's how they grow.
Yep.
And that's tough. So I think bravo, you guys are doing a really good
Thank
job of
you.
that. Obviously, especially since Libby's so independent and so her goals are important to her. I think that just proves what a great job you guys are doing.
And I was going to say too, kudos to Jerry and Jenny
Yeah.
and the whole family because
absolutely.
they allow, I think, the way to evolve and grow, no matter what your situation is to do exactly what they're doing.
That's it.
And it's a fun family. They're constantly doing stuff. They're on the go. You know what I mean? And everybody's involved. And I think that just puts the happiness right back in Libby.
That's it. Look at that face. She's gorgeous.
You were absolutely
I love it.
great. So
right, well-
we so appreciate you being
Yes.
here today. We have you up on Facebook and Mom, you as well. And we wish you continued success. So listen,
Congratulations on your senior year.
we would love for you to come back anytime you want. You keep us updated on anything you need from Younger Life. And of course, WIMS, the radio station that airs us as well. And we so are happy for you. Congratulations, Libby.
Thank you.
Queen
Thank you.
Thank you
Libby.
guys for having us on. This is quite
Thanks.
an honor to be here.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you, Libby.
You're welcome.
Have a wonderful day. Thanks,
Bye, guys.
Jenny.
Take care.
What a wonderful family. I just love them so much. All right, Younger Life, of course. Now, that ties into something else
It
we're
does.
talking about.
And it's an important thing we've talked about periodically is prom season in general. Obviously, a lot of proms are over. There are still a few schools that have proms coming up. But, we go straight from prom season in the early spring into graduation season. And it can be challenging as a parent to have your kids at all these different things that you want them in, your teenagers, you want them to be involved. These are their friends. Maybe it is their senior year. Maybe it just is their, maybe they're not a senior, but they're still friends with all of these older kids, or they play sports together. And it can be scary time as parents, we get panicked over things like
Yep.
accidents and drinking and driving.
I was just going to say drug, drinking,
you hate
sex.
to say drinking,
Straight
drugs,
across.
but that's it.
It is.
It's scary.
Sorry,
that's the scary part.
what it is.
Even if even if your children are the best behaved teenagers, they still could find themselves
Yep.
in situations that they would normally never find themselves in. So I have been reading lots of different websites on different tips and that parents can kind of adopt into their own behaviors to try to prepare their kids for these issues that they may come up with, and without crossing the line of smothering them to death.
Mm-hmm.
Jenny does such a good job of that. She hit it right on the head. You have to give them their space, but being present is always important. And
well, can I throw this out there
Please.
too? And I think that you just hit it right on the head. When Jenny walked in with Libby walked into the studio by herself. Jenny was right behind her. Jenny spun to her and said, "Would you like me in or out?" She goes, "Out."
Yeah.
She was cool. Jumped right up on the chair.
Mm-hmm.
She did her thing. She looked at us. I said, "We're on in, a minute." We,
was
the
ready to
music
go.
faded up. Jackie, our executive producer, said, "You guys are on." She
Mm-hmm.
smiled. She was here. And then when she wanted Mom to come in, which was, a few minutes into the interview, awesome.
Perfect.
But I think you and I both know that let your kids evolve. That's just
and
easy.
I think as parents, a fear is always if you give them too much space, they're going to make mistakes. You have to let them make mistakes. But the other side of that is you want them to want you there.
Mm-hmm.
They will. They'll always want you there, but they want independence. So
Absolutely agree.
they have to have some room for that. And eventually I think that it just works out better for everybody when the parents are present, but not smothering the child to where they think they can't make, they're teenagers. They're not children anymore. I mean, I say kids, they aren't, I'm
Young adults.
That's it. Absolutely. And they buck the system worse if they feel like they have no room to make decisions or choices for themselves. I just don't think it's fair.
I'm going to throw it this way, and I'm just as a parent with 2 adult daughters, and you obviously have a nice spectrum of ages there. Once they hit the puberty,
Yeah.
once they start hitting that thing where you're seeing changes, they're growing and they're evolving. There are a lot of people out there right now that really have a leash on their child that do
I'm
not
one of
allow
them
them-
sometimes when
But
you have to
wanna
reel
know
it
what?
in.
When it is needed,
Yeah.
fine. But you also, I'll give you a great example. I know a ton of young people that, Devin's a senior. There's a lot of the kids that don't want to go to prom. And instead of going to prom, some of the kids want to go away to, a weekend getaway. It could be in Wisconsin at the Wisconsin Dells.
Yeah.
It could be near a theme park up in Illinois, or, you know what I mean? Just,
Right.
they
Have
want to
fun.
go away for a couple days, get a hotel room. What are you going to do when these kids go to college? You will have no control,
Yeah.
especially if they're going away, of what they do. You're going to have to
It's
trust them, but
tough.
you have to instill into these young ones.
That's it. From a very early
Right.
age,
What is good, what is bad, and at that point, we have all made decisions. Some good, some bad.
That's it.
But in that, some good,
The
some
scary-
bad, you learn.
They have to make mistakes. The scary
Right.
thing is sometimes if a teenager is not prepared enough, they can make a bad choice that can cost them their lives or their friends their lives, and that's the scariest part of all of it. So,
All right, and I'm just going to throw this out there too.
Yeah.
And just so people realize this, and again, I'm not saying go out there and let your kids be crazy and experience
certainly
life.
not.
What I'm saying is this: if you're a parent and or a grandparent and or someone that's watching over a child, single or not, whether you're have a significant other, if you don't allow your child to at least expand and try new things, and I say that, staying out a little bit later or giving them some responsibility and see if they hold forth on it. But I'll give you the best one. If you have them on such a leash where you're not allowing them to go out with some of the kids on a Saturday night and they're going out for pizza and they may go out to a friend's to watch a movie. We all know sometimes it gets a little different. When they leave the house or go to college, they are going to turn crazy. And I've seen this happen many
I
times
have
through the
too.
years where kids just go nuts. They party, they drink, they're going nuts, exploring, let's just say.
especially if they felt like they never were able to make their own
Exactly. They're
choices.
making up for it.
They are. And,
So-
I mean, my own self and my parents were always paranoid, as parents are, but, would just say, no matter what is going on, be honest. And we were very honest, but I know lots of people that weren't. And in those situations, if there were to be even a fender bender and you had to call your parents, if they think you lied about where you were, I just feel like that is so much more dangerous. You're just setting yourself up and your parents up for
Disaster.
huge disaster potentially. So I read a lot of different websites, but there is one that has 6 tips for keeping your teens
Awesome.
safe
Let's hear those.
during prom and graduation season. So it says set curfews. I think we all do that anyway. I mean, as parents, and I know as my parents did, you set curfews. You have to have an idea of what's going on.
Course.
So you do need to know where your teen, ask where your teen's going. Find out where they're going to be, if there will be adult supervision. I mean, and you may not get answers that you want, or you may not get the truth if you make your kid feel like they can't tell you the truth.
I'm going to throw, in addition to what you're saying, and I think this works for us. This has worked for my 2 daughters to this day. And I even tell, my family where I'm at, so they know. So it's that worry factor, parents, people that are out there listening or viewing. You tell your children, when you get to your destination, I need a phone call.
We do the same thing. Or shoot me a text. I need to know you're there.
That's all I need to know. I'm safe. I'm good.
I'm here.
I want to hear your voice.
I want to know where you are.
Right.
I am exactly where I'm supposed to be.
And
So-
you know what? It's not a bad thing, parentals, when we're talking prom season, graduation parties, to call the house. You know that there are going to be parties and get-togethers and stuff where the kids are going to say, there's parents there, they're fine. It may seem weird to some of you, especially the younger parents or parents that are in, I'll just use my age, where I have no problem picking up the phone to call a parent and say, hey, you guys everybody going to be there? Someone going to be there? Hey, yeah, Rick, we're going to be upstairs. They're going to be downstairs. You and I had a story not too long ago about, a situation that was taking place where there were parents upstairs and, sadly enough, the kids were downstairs and they were getting a little uniqua, and one of the kids died because they were experimenting with whatever.
I know. Scary business.
Right. You can't, you have to know. You have to know where your kids
you
are
do.
at.
And we have to acknowledge we can't prevent everything in the world. But the best thing we can do is be prepared ourselves and prepare our teens without having to feel like this is not the military here. We need to it's got to be a partnership. So in 2008, half of teen deaths from motor vehicle crashes occurred between 3 p.m. and midnight. And the majority percentage were Fridays, Saturdays.
Yes.
And so we know that statistically, and that's really makes perfect sense. That's not a shocking statistic. It's just a little more fuel for the fire on know where you're set a curfew, know where they're going to be at. Another great point. I love this one. Be up when they come home. The author of this article in particular said, my mom always told me that her anti-drug plan was called coffee and lights. She was wide awake, lights on, coffee in hand when any of the children in the house will come through at the curfew time. A teen's curfew should never, ever be later than a parent can stay up. Now, I know myself, I am a night owl, but there are occasions where I am dog tired because I don't get up like you, but I'll be dog tired by 10 o'clock. And, And on those occasions, if you know something specific is going on, you have to find a way to stay awake. I remember that too. My parents, they're not night owls, but they would always be awake, and they would, if they were laying in bed watching TV, they would call me in there. I would have to see them and talk to them. And that's exactly what should happen. You're going to catch up if your child is impaired. I mean, you're going to catch on.
You're going to know.
And it's important to have a conversation with them just to see. So I love that.
Between eyes, breath, the way they're walking, the way they're talking, the execution.
Well, and not only that, what went on tonight. You don't kind of find out.
How was the party?
And, it's okay if your kid confides in you that, there was drinking there.
Sure.
Don't punish them for telling you the truth.
Right, because they'll never tell you again.
That's it. You have to find a good balance. Now, clearly, if your kid drove home and had been drinking, that calls for you're going to get in trouble. That calls for action, not just having a conversation.
A lot of people chiming in on this one. Let's throw this out there. Someone said a great piece of information I would throw out there as a parent is you should really have the discussion with your child about how many children or people are in the car. There are different laws in different states. I'm just going to throw this out there from Illinois to Indiana to Michigan, and the ages of the young ones. Now you got someone that's got a permit, right now?
Yeah, my oldest daughter has her permit. She'll be getting her license in the next few months. And for, I believe, 6 months after that, she's not allowed to have any other teens in the car.
Yes.
Other than siblings, thankfully. Thank God she can help take to to school and stuff.
Right.
So that is a great rule, and we all know that. And I remember being a teenager and seeing how many of my friends we could stuff in the car and go somewhere, but it certainly adds to distracted driving and can be very, very dangerous. Distracted driving is as dangerous as drinking and driving. I mean, it really is. Distracted driving, it causes so many accidents every year, and a lot of fatality.
I want
fatal
to
accidents.
throw this out there too. There's a lot of, especially today's technology, Mary, they've got, and I'm just saying this, I don't use it. I've never used it. I know people that do. There are trackers on phones and apps.
I know.
I kind of feel if you want to do that, to each his own. I respect that because you're the parental, but I personally feel you should have that open relationship where you say, where are you going? Dad, we're going to a concert. Who's driving? This person's driving. Do not use that telephone. If we call you, have your friends pick it up. I can't tell you how many times Devin and Carly have been out with their gal pals and guys, and they'll be driving. They're the drivers.
Yeah.
And I'll call, and their girlfriend
Someone
or friend
else
will
will
pick it up and
answer
say,
the phone.
hey, Mr. Fed, what's going on? Hey, are you guys cool?
Yeah.
We just made it in the parking lot. Excellent. Make sure you guys, lock the doors and you're safe.
Stay together, buddy system. You're never too old for the buddy system.
Oh my
Even as an
gosh.
adult.
No, go to the bathroom. with
That's it.
them.
When I am somewhere, I would say to somebody, come with me, and it's not, it's the safety.
Of course.
It really, there's always safety in numbers. You should not.
Think about how you would feel,
alone.
God forbid, if for that 1 minute you said, I'm going to go to the bathroom.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's crazy.
Anything. Or your kid, even as a teenager, say,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go to the restroom. Okay, take someone else with you. You should go where we can't see
Right.
you. You never know what's going to happen. But the next tip was, this was about the hotel room. It reminded me, you just said this. It says, do not rent a hotel room. Is anyone ever really surprised when a tragedy happens when a parent rents a hotel room that's unsupervised? If you do rent a hotel room, you need an appropriate adult there, just to be sure. I understand.
No, I'm with
but,
you.
it's just liability also, so you're not liable if something, God forbid, were to go wrong.
Can I tell you what we've done? And this is the way we
Yeah.
have done it all the years with the girls. We say, you want to go to a hotel, we're in the adjoining room right next to you.
Yeah.
And the door will be unlocked.
Yeah.
And we will be up.
Yeah.
And I say that with a smile. But, because for the most
Well,
part, they're
then-
not going
then you-
outside the hotel. They're going swimming. They're
Well,
going to
that
play
is
games.
supervised, though. To me, that is
agree.
supervised.
I agree.
I wouldn't see that as an unsupervised room then, because they are supervised. You're there. This is a great point for everyone. Clearly communicate your expectations
Agreed.
to your teen. This should not be a new topic that you're discussing with your teen. I feel like since they're very little, it's the easiest time to sprinkle in those expectations. And as they grow, it becomes embedded in who they are. On honesty, there's never a reason for a lie. Lie will get you in trouble in our house before anything else.
I
will.
agree.
You know what I mean? And
Agree.
they need to know that, and they need to know they can come to you. So they do need to know they aren't going to be punished for honesty. I'm not saying if they need to be in trouble, that's different, but they have to be able to stay open with you. Although you may feel as though you've discussed expectations with your child about healthy choices, consequences, for rule breaking, the dangers of drinking and driving. You may feel like you've discussed those, but they need to hear that on a regular basis, and it needs to be cut and dry. Not just drinking and driving is bad. That also means if you're drinking at a party and someone says, oh, you've had way more than I have, I'm going to drive home. They're still, I don't care if they've had a sip, call the parent.
Yep.
No questions asked kind of thing. I know you've commented that before.
Always. That is our rule at our house. There's a no questions asked rule in our house.
We will come no matter what and address it the next day.
And we have always done that. And I'll tell you, that will save you. That will save your family. That will save a life. You do not ever yell at your children if they pick up the phone and say, Dad, and I've had it happening with both girls. Listen, we're in a situation right now. Can you just pick us up? No problem. Or they'll say, I need you to pick me up. We pick them up and you don't ask a question.
They'll
hey,
tell
girls,
you.
how are you? They will.
They'll tell
on
you.
that ride back to your house or whatever. Girls, you coming back over to have pizza or whatever? Yeah, we are. By the way, and then they go.
Yes.
I've said this before. By the way, these guys are going a little nuts. They were, doing this, and
Yeah.
this.
Getting
Oh,
a little
okay.
rough or anything.
I just shut my face. Let me throw this out there.
Please.
Someone just chimed in for you and said, Mary, you are so right. My biggest reason for making the right choices was knowing my mom was up to talk to me.
So true.
You were talking about
Yeah.
the lights and coffee.
Lights and coffee or the anti-drug plan. I like that. And I think that is.
That is.
It's a great point. It really is, and it just boils down to communication, and we have to trust our children. They need that. We all need that, and
I agree.
And I think that they want to live up to that. Then it's just very important.
Here's one. Here's a guy perspective for you, Mary
Excuse me,
Anthony.
such a tickle.
Younger Life Action, talking about real cool stuff today. I dig this conversation because if we can help parents that are going through this right now, I've always felt the best way for our kids to learn is to make mistakes with the parents standing on the sidelines to help them get up and carry on. The best teacher, of course, you guys, is life, which I think
True
is
and
a
hard
very
sometimes,
interesting-
you
yeah,
know?
Yeah.
This website actually recommends you might want to consider role playing a few of those scenarios with the drinking and driving. I don't necessarily think that for my own personal family. My kids would roll their eyes if I said, let's just pretend. But it's important to point out that
Wait,
said,
what do you mean? So role
like,
play.
let's pretend that you've been drinking and that you call me. You know, I think that they would find that more silly and funny than actual
And they
learning
video you and
experience.
put you up on
That's
Instagram.
so true. They would, yeah, no kidding. They would tape it, but it does say actually pointing out these scenarios, even if you're not role playing, this different situations that could possibly come up does improve their knowledge, and
Oh, yeah.
that will be another reaction that they will have just secondhand, which is what you want. So to keep themselves safe. Another good point is keep the party local. Don't be tempted to allow your child or teen to celebrate at a faraway location or at a beach or a cabin that you can't get to quickly.
I'm telling you, that is so true.
Absolutely, it is.
Through the years, the only time that we allowed our daughters to go for sure, and we absolutely called the parents. Parents said, we're going to our cabin. We rented a cabin.
Yeah.
And we were bringing the girls with it. You know, there's 6 girls and the parents.
Yeah.
With their dog and, the other little kids in the
Yeah.
cabin. I'm so cool with that because all they're doing is they're going to go swim.
That's
they're
it.
going to hang with the parents. They're going to be by the bonfire. You know, they may let the kids go shopping in town or something.
Yeah.
You know, as a group. But I mean,
Yes.
it's very safe.
It is. And it's
I know.
supervised.
Supervised. There's the word. Exactly.
It says that, allowing a teen to be at a remote spot where there's no supervision, it clearly causes risk on numerous levels.
Way.
So,
Sex, drugs, rock and roll.
that's
All
it.
the way right there.
And very, very scary stuff. So, again, talk with your teen. Ask them different things. How you feel about the prom coming up,
Sure.
or even about graduation parties. What are you most excited about? Anything making you nervous? Obviously know who they go with to these things. If they say a bunch of us are going, no, I want to know who's going.
And you have a discussion, by the way, with the couple. So if your daughter's
Yeah.
got a boyfriend, or there's 6 girls and they're going stag,
Yeah.
girls, come
Talk
on
about
in.
it.
Come
and,
on
and,
in.
and remember, none of you leave with someone that you didn't come with.
And by the way, I was your age once too.
that's it. That's
Simple.
it.
Talk
I'm
to
going to
them like an
say,
adult.
I can say this because I love my bestie, but when we graduated high school, a group of us went to Cancun.
Okay.
It was fun. We had a great time. We were all there together. I remember specifically, we had to get into an argument, and my best friend, I love her. A guy said the next day he wanted to take her on a jet ski, and she wanted to go. And I said, "You're not going. I know this is terrible." And our other friends were very quiet because they didn't want to cause an argument.
Right, sure.
There were 5 of us, and I said, "Listen to me. You are not going with someone that we do not know on a jet
God
ski."
forbid.
What would happen? I said, I am not going to have to call your parents and tell them we don't know where you are because you're gone.
Or you got into an accident,
or anything.
or a myriad
anything.
of
So
things.
we
I
do
agree.
not know this person. And,
No.
and for you to be on a jet ski, you were all alone. And I remember she was very aggravated at me at first. We argued about it, and I said, I'm sorry. You call me
were
whatever
like
you
a
want.
mom
I was
figure.
being the mom. And, it's funny. That was obviously before kids, but I said, you can't. That's too scary.
I agree.
And excuse me, as adults now, we were adults then. We were 18 years old. It was a lot different.
Adults, yeah.
A little bit more experience behind
Sure.
ourselves. We realized, wow, how scary just the thought of that is now.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad. It's important that you talk to them about those things. It could happen. They could all be at the prom together, and someone say, "Come with me." Don't. do it.
Or I'm gonna go hang. I'm gonna go hang with these guys, and
If you don't
that
really
would
know
not be
them.
good.
And, yeah, it's very important. Another very interesting thing I had read, and I heard this on the radio.
Okay.
Excuse me, I have such a bad tickle.
Oh, no problem. Take a swig. In the meantime, here, let me do this real quick while you're grabbing that real quick.
Goodness.
We're going to celebrate National Drinking Water Week as we are talking right now. Just a note, we just
Still
got a
going
text from
on.
someone. It is through the end of this week, the LaPorte County Health Department is offering you free well water screening kits to LaPorte County well residents as well. The service is being offered to the residents only with private water supplies wells, of course, and 1 kit per person on the Honor Buddy system that we chatted about. Residents may pick up their screening kits through the 20th at the LaPorte County Health Department. So we'll give you more insight to that. We do have a LaPorte office, a Michigan City office, and I don't like when I get tickles either.
I do, and it's just it's the time of season.
It
My
is.
kids have the same thing.
Everybody.
They're having allergy flare-ups, and I've never
Can I
had
tell you,
allergies.
the eyes too are another one where the eyes get
itchy.
dry, itchy,
Itchy, watery.
red.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
This is not from allergies.
No,
I'm
that was
kidding.
well for those of you just
When you
joining us
said
on
red,
Younger Life. If you're
this
watching,
red eye.
if you're watching the YouTube stream right now.com live, I really can't tell because I'm looking at you in the cameras right
Yeah,
here.
good.
You look fantastic, but you got nailed by a 4-year-old.
I
Your
did
son
with a wiffle ball. My
and was it
son
nephew?
got me. No, it was my son.
It was
that
your
got
son.
me.
Nailed it right
Just,
to your face.
just dead in the eye.
Yeah.
I mean, it could not have been. I chuckled to myself after I had the magnet on. And I said, "How funny would that have been on tape?" Just because he hit it so hard and it was dead in the eye. I mean, just like right to my eye. I still can't get over it. And it's funny. This total side note, but it gave me flashbacks when my sister and I were very young.
You're gonna have the Rick flashbacks right now.
I was pitching to her with a real hard softball.
Okay.
And I was way too close to her. And she nailed it and hit me dead in the forehead.
Yeah.
It knocked me straight backwards. And I will never forget. She's about a year and a half younger than I am. She was trying to carry me in. She's trying to drag me in. And she kept saying, "Don't die, Mary. Don't die." Because I was almost knocked out. It was just dead in the forehead. I fell straight backwards. So it was funny when my son got me in the eye yesterday. I said, "I'm having flashbacks. I should never play baseball or softball. I should just know better."
You should wear a mask, kid.
Yeah, no kidding.
Catcher's mask.
All my kids actually have. Girls, it was required in softball.
Absolutely, yes, for my daughters too.
Their masks were required. I should just start wearing
Did
that.
Did you hear your sister as a little girl going, "Don't die, Mary"?
Oh, she was, "Don't die, Mary. Don't die." She was so panicked trying to drag me into the house. I will never forget that. It was just funny. And we got a good laugh over it yesterday because it was so.
Have you ever had
similar.
the wind knocked out of you by either a basketball, a fast pitch softball,
no,
football?
never a ball.
I have, and that's a freaky feeling.
To have your air knocked out in any capacity
like
is
that.
very
I
scary.
don't like that.
It really is. I mean, you just to feel like you can't get air is
you're
it's
like,
a panicking feeling. It's terrible.
Yeah.
So I actually heard this a couple days ago, and I was so excited because I knew we were going to be having this talk. That statistically, parents that talk to their teenagers and sign like a contract. This is something I never did. This must be a newer age thing. I don't know, but I see the validity in it. Have a discussion about safety and expectations, and have that teenager sign this contract. It's more. This is related directly to driving.
Okay.
But it decreases. Like the statistics were nuts. It was on the radio actually. I was listening and. It was about how it reduces accidents and it reduces the distracted driving.
Oh, yeah.
Because they sign this and you set up consequences beforehand. So actually, I love the CDC, Center for Disease Control website.
Absolutely, yeah.
They actually have one. It says having regular conversations about safety and practicing driving together, leading by example, helps to ensure that your teenager will make smart decisions when they're behind the wheel and especially when they're behind the wheel alone. So there's an example of a parent and teen driving agreement.
Okay.
And I found it fascinating because I think it definitely brings a good point.
Would you actually use one on your child?
I don't know. Well, I never would have thought about it. And I would think it's silly because I feel like we have these kind of conversations a lot. We're a very open household.
We are way open too.
And even when it's uncomfortable,
of course.
We've had lots of things that are uncomfortable that get brought up and you think, okay, I mean, the best policy my husband and I have always had is, since they've been very little, is, okay, no big deal. We'll deal with this. Don't make anything a big deal. You give yourself time to think it over. And when you don't know the answer to questions, especially uncomfortable sex questions, heaven forbid, someone, the little kids say, "Where do babies come from?" And you panic thinking, you want to say stork, but don't. You give yourself time to think.
You have to be honest and blunt.
Absolutely.
Especially as, having 2 daughters and then 3 women in my house.
Yeah.
Going through the phases of life and maturity.
Certainly.
And a lot of the younger ladies We all know girls are way more mature than boys on any level, anytime,
Yeah,
any
it
day.
is true.
You know what I'm saying? But that being said, being honest with them and saying the facts of life, it's a little tough for some of the parents out there. I
It
get
is.
it. But I'd rather say to my daughter, you know what? This guy, I'm just going to be honest with you. I know you like him, but A, B, and C. You could usually tell the guys, and they have to have a head on their shoulder, but you also have to be very blunt about, when we were younger, and this is an adult conversation we're having right now. So parentals, you know where I'm coming from. The game of baseball. I'll just say it like that.
Yeah.
Where there are different bases.
Right.
Now, you could explain different things to your child in whatever way it is, but in a very mature, respectful, and respecting the body. I always talk about your body being a temple. We've chatted about this offline and online about our kids and just us in general, how we are as people. To each his own on what people do. I'm not going to tell you what to do. Don't tell me what to do first and foremost.
That's it.
But if you can help your family, your friends, your children realize, because there are going to be points, and I'm telling you that right now, like when I say don't hold your kids, don't stranglehold your kids and not let them go to this, and this in high school, because when you unleash them and they go to college, all craziness is going to break loose. But if you're honest with them when you approach it as mature people, and there are going to be times where you, like you said, don't yell at them, but be cool.
Even when you want to. And that's
Right.
where I struggle the most, because I want to say, what were you thinking?
But
And I might say, what, better. We've already talked about these things. Like that's what I try to hang on to, is do it more in that manner. Not saying it's okay, because it's not okay.
No, it's
when
not
you're doing
okay.
something. There are consequences. I'm not saying if your child, it doesn't have to be a teenage driver. I mean, in general, if they break a rule that they know is already an established, this is something that's been discussed, there should be consequences. They need to know that, but they also need to know the expectations. It's perfect when they say, make those clear, as well as consequences. They need to know what to expect. I think that helps everybody out. I used to read parenting books. I love parenting books. I would read them, and I don't know. I love to get other people's perspectives. Always have. And so I would find, I have my first baby, and ooh, boy, I would just read these things up. And one of my favorite things is occasionally, especially when we're talking like the sex stuff that might be a little bit uncomfortable.
shouldn't be, by the way, people. Should not be.
I would hope it's uncomfortable to discuss, but you need to still discuss
Have
it.
to.
But it's at their level, and I have read a great book that's called Talking About Sex from Toddler to Preteen or something. I think that's what it's called. I actually bought it because I liked it so much. And it discusses, you don't have to get into these extremely in-depth conversations. It starts when they're very young. They know little bits at a time, and before long, they're very intelligent. They're people. They're little people.
And
They
their
just piece
approach
the
to
stuff
the
together.
understanding is mature.
It is mature,
Respectful.
and it can also be a little bit more. I don't want to say scientific, but it doesn't have to be all embarrassing. It can be this
Educational.
And this. It is, and it's just it works. But I love to hear how these other people do it. So when you ask me if I would do one of these driving contracts, I've never considered it because I feel like we're very open and we discuss everything. But there is something being said about when they value what giving their word means, to give their word by signing an actual contract of sorts. I could see why that would increase maybe their dedication to the plan, because you respect the plan, and if you already came up with it together, discussed it together, and they're very much a part of that, I feel like maybe I could see the validity in that. I really do. So, it's kind of cool. Again, on the CDC website, they have a printable one you can actually print off. And, it just kind of goes through it's very short. It's, I think it's maybe 2 pages. It just talks about, you're promising to obey the rules. You're promising that you're, how to reduce distracted driving, whether that's phone, talking, texting, how to respect bikers, pedestrians,
Using your mirrors,
drinking.
knowing what's around you,
That's
never
it.
texting in the
It's,
car.
I love it. Says, I promise, so there's little things under all of them, but
Sure.
these promises, I promise I will obey all the rules of the road. And then there's little things under it. I promise that I'll make sure, and they have to check these off. And I think there's
I like
something
that.
to be said about,
I agree.
about, again, they are giving their word that they're going to do these things. And so, I mean, would I do it? I think yes. Had I initially just heard it, I was thinking, whatever works for you. But then reading it, I think I could see why this is a thing. It does say restrictions for the next few months, and this is, parents can fill this in.
Is there a consequence if they get in trouble with this? Like, say you went over this contract with them.
There is.
and
Actually,
you have them sign
there's
it.
a portion in here that says penalties for agreement violations. And one of the other tips, by the way, that I had read many, many years ago in a parenting book is occasionally throw out a big word. I'm not saying talk the dictionary to your children from a young age, but when they're being brats, when they're really little and being naughty, instead of constantly saying, stop doing that. Don't, you say that is unacceptable. And you know what? Sometimes a kid is taken back by thinking, I'm
doing something wrong. Yeah.
They realize it's the context.
Great.
And so I
agree.
love that this is actually labeled penalties for agreement violations. It doesn't just say punishment or consequences. There's
What do they say to take away? Because I'm telling you,
examples.
you get to their heart of a kid.
That's
The
it.
way you do it is you take away those electronics.
Every kid
immediately.
has a thing.
Yeah.
I mean, has a thing that will work for them. Spanking every child in the world is not going to fix things. I'm not saying that that's not warranted sometimes, but there are things there. You've got to get to the.
Do you really think? This is a whole other topic. Do you really think, as a parent, spanking a child really does anything truly?
I don't really think
I
it
don't think
teaches
so.
them a lesson.
I'm sorry.
I think that there's some value in it. Like I said, my kids are very please. Spanking, you might hear me say that because it's like my go-to. Do you want your butt spanked? Get real. My kids very seldom ever. No,
it does nothing.
And it's really not it's my youngest ones that would ever even hear that. My bigger ones.
Don't you feel guilty? Don't you feel like crud? I wouldn't want to hit my child.
Oh, this is the thing. I don't ever like to spank my kids. When I say spank, I literally mean a swat on the butt over their clothes with my hand. Nothing. I know spanking can be many different
But
things.
again, what does that do?
Well, there's only really 2 times you would ever get a swat on the butt.
And what would that be?
If you hurt someone intentionally,
Okay.
I don't mean like my eye. I don't mean even playing. Say they're wrestling and someone gets hurt. That's not. You didn't mean to hurt them.
Right. Exactly.
You
No,
know,
I'm with
if you hurt someone on purpose,
Right.
you're going to get a swat on the
You
butt.
were being malicious. You were being
that's it.
vindictive. I
We
get it.
do not
Right.
disrespect someone by
I got
being
it.
mean to them, or if you put yourself in danger by doing something you know better. You go by the road. Wait, now, if a 2-year-old wanders by the road, shame on the parents, whoever's, that's
Right.
terrible. But if my bigger kids are outside and a ball goes near the road, they all know, come and get me. Even my oldest, who is plenty old enough, she will say, hey, the ball went across the road. I'm going to get it. So at least I know.
Look both ways.
No, I mean,
No, I know.
that's it.
But you know what I'm saying? You're
That's
yelling,
it.
fine, thank
It's
you.
still
Look
an
both ways,
acknowledgement.
and you're
yeah.
watching.
Now, my little ones, you don't go anywhere near the road. A big sissy or we'll get it. That's how it goes. But if you do that, or I catch you near the road or anything, you are going to get a swat because you're putting your life in danger by breaking a rule. But that's I really honestly can't tell you how often that it actually has to happen. They just know better. I mean, you tell them, I threaten
I think
it.
you're too nice of a mom and Jeremy's too nice of a dad for you guys to ever. I could see you yelling potentially.
Oh, I'm a yeller.
Maybe,
We're kind of loud family.
You wouldn't be a spanker, right? Exactly.
We laugh loud and play loud,
That's
and we
us
yell
too.
loud. We are loud. We are a loud house.
I love laughing. We literally have a few seconds left here.
So, anyways,
any more of these great rules?
Yeah.
Great stuff.
The again, CDC website for anybody that might have a driver. But as far as the prom season and graduation season, there are a lot of dangers. It doesn't just have to do with drinking and driving. Please have conversations with your children about
open.
These teens. That's it. And if they do find themselves in a situation, I can't stress enough, I would rather them call their parent or another
Agreed.
trusted adult to come and get them and bring
And
them
not
home.
their friends, by the way, because again, like Mary said, I've seen this happen time and time again, where maybe another person was at a party or they were all together in a group.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't party that much. You didn't drink that much. You could
Yeah.
drive. No.
You're the driver.
Just pick
please
them
don't
up.
do
No
it.
questions asked.
That's
Be cool
it.
about
And
it.
address it. You don't even have to address it that evening if they're not ready to talk about it. They will talk
Right.
about it. They will.
How about this? It's better to have your child, your loved one alive than dead.
That's it.
it.
And not only that, they're friends too. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
they're afraid. Call, have a conversation about how
Agreed.
important it is. So, again, congratulations when Libby was here. That was very, very
Libby.
cute. I'm
Libby.
so happy.
Woo!
Yeah, I'm so
Prom
happy
queen.
for her. What a great way.
Awesome
what a
job.
great experience for her. So, I think it's great, but it also brings to mind a great topic that we really need to discuss on keeping our teens safe. So,
I'm Rick Federici.
I'm Mary Anthony.
Thanks for joining us for Younger Life.
AM 1420.